being a pet owner, I've kind of like observed these traits in my pets that I see humans exhibiting, and kind of where I see where people kind of fall short and what like a more primal nature is versus a more ascended nature. So I kind of wanted to talk about that. So hold on, I gotta relight this. Hold on. Yes, deal with it. So yes, dogs. Let's start with dogs. Because, okay, if you notice, they really do embody our lower vibrational self in a lot of ways. I mean, they do embody our higher vibrational selves in the sense that they're very loyal, they're great companions, you know, whatever. But on the other spectrum, let's talk about that. Let's be real open and honest about that. They don't get tired of barking. They fucking love conflict. If they have a sense that conflict is near, they're gonna run at it, being as loud and crazy as possible. They're like, ah, danger, let's go to it. You know, they kind of have that ego complex where they're like, they want to be the biggest, the baddest, the alpha. They want to, you know, whatever. And they kind of like, they have this competitive mindset. They're always trying to do, like, outdo themselves. They always try to outdo everybody. And they're very self-serving animals, too. It's like, they're very clingy and needy because they're like, let me just simp on you for a while for some fucking food, you know? And it's like, it really shows, like, some lower vibrational energies, right? That humans also have. So I'm bringing awareness, okay? I'm bringing awareness. And then we have cats, right? Cats are very to themselves, right? They're not gonna go and give a bunch of extra energy to anybody. They'll give you energy when they're like, I see fit, right? They let you know who's the boss, who's in charge. They're an authority over their own lives. You just show them where the cat box is, and they're like, awesome, got it. They'll knock shit over to let you know they're still in charge. They're like, you have to clean up my mess, bitch. Like, you gotta get me food. The cats invented a whole language to talk to humans. You know, they don't meow at each other in nature. I had several cats and I never saw them meowing at each other. They only started meowing when they got up to me, and they're like, human, I'm hungry. You know? And it's kind of like, you see the sigma energy in a cat where there's no alpha, there's no whatever, because they're all thinking, I am God, right? They all have that in their mind, their heart, their soul. They're like, I'm God. This sunset is God. This fucking catnip is God. Like, all this shit, you know? Catnip is an excellent solution to your fucking plant problem if you have cats, though. Cats love eating plants, so get them like cat grass, catnip, get them high as fuck on all your plants, and then they'll leave the other ones alone. Just a little trick. But, you know, and that's kind of our higher dimensional self, the person who lives outside of needing that validation, needing that, you know, they're not worried about where they're getting their next meal. They're not going to simp on you for that. They're just like, you know, I could go out and kill a fucking bird right now. I could take care of my damn self. I've got that independent cat nature, you know? And it's like, the dogs will simp on you because they're like, I don't know if I'll make it without you. I can't even get over this fence. You know? Dogs are very fucking needy creatures, right? And so, after sitting a long time with both dogs and cats and having my own personal observation of both, my own experiences with both, I kind of learned that, like, there's this ability we have, and you kind of see it in Eastern philosophy, Eastern schools of thought, you know, where it's kind of like they talk about, you know, observing nature and embodying it, and they do that through like qigong, tai chi, yoga, like all kinds of like cool, like, you know, all of martial arts. You know, like they do this, you know, even in meditation we do this. And so it's like having this connection where we start embodying the traits of animals that we want to embody. I say sit with a fucking cat for a while. You know, if you want to be good at being a human, sit with a fucking cat. You want to learn how to be the lowest form of a human? So with a dog. And it's not because dogs are bad or anything. It's just that they're in a way more primal state than humans. And cats are in a way more elevated state than humans. You know, they're outside of the realm of needing. You know, they're outside of the realm of desire. You know, yeah, they take care of themselves. They're good. They're good at that, you know. And it's kind of like if we really, you know, pay attention to animals, we could really adopt healthier lifestyles for ourselves, you know, and see, like, based on the psychological biology of us all, you know, like, we're still primates, you know. And let's talk about that too, because a lot of people are like, oh, primates, you know, or hominids lost all their body hair because they were standing up in the sun. Well, I beg to differ. I beg to differ that the difference is that we invented clothing, right? We've invented and no longer needing that, right? We created clothing, and that's exactly where the hair doesn't exist on our bodies, you know, like, you know, based on our cultures, and, you know, we're somewhat more, you know, and I'm sure sun exposure has a lot to do with that as well. It's probably both. But if you look at Africans and like South Americans and shit, like, they have really minimal body hair and they have a lot of sun exposure, you know. So it's not, and yeah, it does have UV protection, but it's not really, you know. And then another aspect is like colder environments too. Like, you probably grow a little extra body hair if you're like European or something, because colder environments, you still needed a little extra body hair, you know, even with the invention of clothing, you know. And so it's kind of like, that makes sense, you know, based on like biological, genetic drift, genetic flow, gene psychology, even, you know, let's talk about all of it. It's like the way our bodies have evolved that way. So it's kind of like, I feel like, you know, our consciousness came before a lot, you know. It definitely came after Australopithecus afarensis, after we already became bipedal, but we were still pretty hairy, you know. We were still pretty like chimp-like, you know, when we were endowed with the consciousness that helped us build the tools and get the clothing that we needed to clothe our bodies, and have that conscious awareness that we were naked, you know, and that we did need to start surviving, hunting, gathering. You know, we were no longer scavengers anymore at this point. And just kind of this energy of being a more proactive life force, you know. And so I feel like, you know, a lot of us, you know, developed, you know, we evolved into what we are, this alien-like creature, right, on planet Earth, because we started thinking on a higher realm, right? We started making things easier so that we didn't need certain aspects or certain things, or we needed more of certain things, like we needed better thought, thinking abilities than we did teeth or nails, because we were able to make tools, you know. Like, so our honing canines, they went away, right? And so, you know, humans kind of like went through this crazy conscious shift, right, that like really transformed us, and yet we still behave on such primal levels where you would see a chimpanzee or a dog behaving, you know. And we really need to be thinking more like giraffes and zebras and fucking cats, you know. Like, you know, dogs are a human creation, you know, through selective breeding and using evolution, they created dogs, you know. So not only are they kind of an anomaly to nature, but they're also, they're still so new, you know. They're still so underdeveloped in a lot of forms, because it was through human progression that they regressed, you know. They went from being a wolf to being a fucking Pomeranian Chihuahua, you know, a Pomcha, a Chipom, Pomchi, whatever. I don't know. See, we have weird fucking names for them because, you know, that is what they are. They're like we regress their evolution, right? And similar things happened with the T-Rex. Now their bloodline is in chickens. Now they're our food, and back when the T-Rex was roaming and doing the T-Rex shit, we were persimians. We were like little squirrel creatures, and so it's like, it's fucking crazy how all of a sudden, almost overnight, we have the intellect to start making tools and weapons and fire, and we had this knowledge to put clothes on our bodies and to start living a different way. And you have to feel that kind of came from somewhere. We talk about Prometheus's flame, we talk about Thoth the Atlantean, we talk about all kinds of beings who kind of came down and really guided this process in the same way that humans have kind of guided the process of the evolution of dogs, and now we're being guided in kind of an opposite way. We're getting guided in a more docile way, a more the meek shall inherit the earth kind of energy. We're becoming the meek. We're understanding reality as it is. We're reaching higher consciousness. We are gaining a more independent collective energy, and it's really showing. I just, one of my favorite things to say is, you're not the fucking boss of me. And everybody's like, you shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't be doing that. Whatever, you're not the fucking boss of me. God's the boss of me. I listen to the source now, and I'm evolving in that way. And I feel like it's not just me who can, I feel like everyone has this potential to evolve in that way. You just have to start exhibiting higher traits and pulling in higher energies, right? And being less of that low vibrational self, that egoic self, So yeah, basically, I just wanted to get this rant out of the way before I start my my day has started. I don't go off the clock. I'm always working for y'all. But yeah, I just wanted to give you this to kind of mull over and think about, and maybe kind of help you practice new ways of being a little bit, or understanding other ways of being, however it be like for you, however you take this message, how it resonates with you. I hope it serves you well. But yeah, and namaste. Have a great day. I will see you on the next.